Emefiele may die in DSS custody. Embattled CBN governor lawyer tells court. Dr. Okonta Emefiele, the younger brother of the embattled governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Gordon Emefiele, has told the Federal Capital Territory High Court that the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and the DSS are witch hunting his brother because of his people-oriented financial policies, which several political actors are not comfortable with and are now looking for means to scandalize and smear his image and reputation. Okanta, who warned that his brother may die in custody if not granted bail, made the allegation in his affidavit in support of the fundamental rights application filed by Emefiele's lead counsel, J.B. Daudu, SAN. Among other prayers sought, Daudu had asked the court to restrain the DSS from further detaining his client under the guise of investigating him for terrorism financing, fraudulent activities, thereby interfering with his rights to freedom of movement and personal liberty and human dignity. In his affidavit before the court and obtained by the Whistler, Okanta stated that he has the consent and authority of his elder brother to depose the statement on his behalf since he was still being detained at the DSS facility. Buttressing his allegations of a political witch hunt by AGF and DSS, Okanta said the respondents have allegedly been applying to various courts with a view to obtaining favorable orders so as to help legalize the illegalities certain unnamed politicians have fine-tuned against him. That Mr. Emefiele, who served Nigeria meritoriously and brought laudable financial and monetary policies as approved by the former president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, is now being treated like a common criminal, kept in an inhuman condition, denied food, his medication, and his spouse. Family members, doctors, and lawyers are not allowed to see him. I know as a fact that this policy is a serious blow to several politicians and a clog in the electoral fraud in Nigeria, as several dishonorable politicians set out plans to rig the 2023 general elections through vote buying and electoral fraud while insecurity is on the rise. That I know as a fact is that one of such plots by these politicians includes to frame the applicant on unfounded allegations of terrorism financing, fraudulent practices, as well as allegations of plots to cover up 89 trillion naira stamp duty fraud, which the former administration of President Buhari had personally debunked as being untrue, unfounded, and unmeritorious in all regards, he stated. He further alleged that these mindless and faceless politicians plan to use the instrumentality of the judicial process to intimidate, harass, and oppress and force him out of office in order to continue the old pattern of electoral fraud and vote buying. He further contended that the detention of Emefiele remains illegal because it has already been determined with finality by Justice M.A. Hassan of the same Court of Coordinate Jurisdiction in a matter of Incorporated Trustees of Forum and Accountability and Good Leadership versus President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Okanta urged the court to order the release of the embattled CBN governor, adding that if the court fails to intervene, he would be subjected to considerable physical and psychological torture, which may lead to his death, incapacitation, or aggravation of his ill health for no just cause. While the court has fixed July 13th for the ruling on the application, the Whistler reports that the AGF and DSS had raised preliminary objections to Emefiele's application and affidavit. In a counter-affidavit, Filed by its counsel, I. Awo, the DSS denied the allegation of political witch hunt, maintaining that it remains apolitical and does not act in the interest of any political group or persons. The applicant was arrested upon reasonable suspicion of committing acts which constitute a criminal breach of trust, incitement to violence, criminal misappropriation of public funds, economic sabotage, economic crimes of national security dimensions, and undermining the security of Nigeria. He said, how can one person have this much allegations? Wow. If this government really wants to come for you, they will come for you by the throat. Awo further contended that upon the arrest of the applicant, a detention order was obtained from a court A detention order was obtained from a court of competent jurisdiction to enable him in lawful custody for 14 days, having discovered that investigations into his office would take a little while to conclude. That is interesting. Well, for the AGF, its legal team urged the courts to decline jurisdiction on Emefiele's request for release following investigations into his office. Recall that President Bola Tinubu had on June 9 suspended the CBN governor from office to enable investigation into allegations against him. The CBN governor in charge of operations, Folashodun Adebisi Shonubi, was subsequently directed by the president to step in an acting capacity. Well, that's it for today. Put what you think, and do not forget to like and subscribe.